Hey everyone, it's me as usual. So today, everyone, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this about, well, some of you might going to find this obvious anyway about this whole thing about social media ban, but that's not the only thing that we're going to talk about anyway. But we can always still have time to have some fun, so don't worry. So for my personal opinion, I just think, I don't know. I mean, I find it difficult what to believe or not, because sometimes the point is, by trying to be fair with you all, that this has got nothing for us to worry about unless you're a grown up, as long as you're not under 16. So the point is of what I'm trying to say here, without trying to upset one of you. But the thing is, just because there's people who are under 16, it doesn't mean they're trying to not let young people under 16 to not have any freedom. It's actually to protect them from discrimination, whatever you know the word, but it's something about like harm, self-harm, what's that, something like that. It's just something, but still, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, so try not to worry too much, guys, so don't worry. So but even though it will going to happen at some point in the future, but I doubt it will happen anytime soon. So try not to panic. Just try focus on the positives, and just try your best to remain calm, and just try not to overthink about it. Okay, just try have a nice day without worrying. So yeah, and let's just giving you the fair moment to say that, because the reason why I'm here to discuss about this, because I'm worried about young kids at a young age, to be very honest with you, boys and girls. And I'm not sure if you guys will agree or not, but it's okay if either yes or not. But the thing is, what I'm here to point out, that there are kids out there who does goes online sometimes without parents seeing them, and that's the thing sometimes, really, because I just can't stand why there's no parents who doesn't have any responsibility to keep an eye on the child by not watching what the child is watching on whatever. I was on telly devices like computers, laptops, whichever, or phones, iPads. It doesn't really that matter which devices you use or go on to. You should always stay with your own child. And I'm starting. I mean, no offense, but I'm starting to get sick and tired of keep hearing those conversations about parents always leaving or letting the child on these devices all day, like literally almost every day. But in my personal point of view, on this point, boys and girls, I just think the parents should let the child only have like 5 or 10 minutes on the devices, and then 5 or 10 or 20 minutes break from those devices, in my personal opinion. So, and it doesn't matter how long you let your child to go on them, you should also make sure you have your own child to have a break from those devices, because sometimes devices is not good for your brains whatsoever, and it can affect your sleeping, and like you might have sleeping problems, like you don't know how to get to sleep because you've been on your devices for too long, and yeah. because this can happen to me as well, to be honest. Although not as often, but I do saying that it can happen to me sometimes before. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to go through all the details because it's not anyone's business or anything. So no offense, but still. No, it's alright, Sebastian. You're free to comment whenever you like. So this is a freedom for all of us to talk about for my video. So yeah. And the thing is, boys and girls, I'm still can't forget the time when I'm not sure if any of you guys are able to remember this, but something to do with children were watching Peppa Pig, and then out of the sudden, some stupid, scary-looking face pops up. But luckily, even though I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember that sort of thing from the past. But luckily, it's no longer online, so that's the main thing. So if you're a parent, just make sure your child is safe from no matter what videos they're watching, and that's not the only thing really. You should always be careful in who your child is talking to. No matter how old they are, you should always stick of what you should supposed to do when it comes to being a parent. And if some of you are not a parent, then and if your child is and you're still a child yourself, then you should always, make sure your parents know what you're watching. Because I do sometimes tell my parents what I've been watching. And I also do sometimes tell my mum and dad everything what I do online. Well, not really everything, but I do sometimes tell them about if there's any problems, if you get what I mean. Because sometimes, even though there's nothing for you guys to worry about. Yeah, well said, Tom. Well said. And besides, we all need to be careful now, don't we? Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's not just the children in general alone. It can be same for the teenagers, young adults, grown-ups, like us, for example, because we all grown-ups. Some of you may still teenagers, some of you still a young child, or some of you still whatever, but still, it doesn't mean, like I say, it doesn't really that matter. And I don't know what to say now, but there's so many thoughts I would love to say all of it, but I can't always because it can get too much information sometimes. So yeah. I'll tell you what, Mickey, you got a fair point, because there are some parents nowadays don't understand the world around them. Well, technically not all of them, like you said, but there are some, yeah. But I kind of agree with you there, Mickey. I do. I really agree with you, mate. So yeah, you have a fair point. So yeah, but like I said, not all parents can be like that. There are some parents who can be strict with what you watch and all that. Like take my parents for example, but they're not that strict. But you get what I mean. I mean, they just want to do what's best for me, when it comes to protecting me from getting bullied or something like that. And I honestly do not want to get in trouble by these horrible people out there anyway. Now, do I? Of course not. Oh, well, unless they really like to try to harm me, and if they ever dare do so, I will make sure I will report and block them. No matter how many times they keep coming back with new accounts, I will just keep on blocking and reporting them, no matter how many times, regardless. And you all should do the same thing, really, because I shouldn't be the only one to do this sort of thing. Because my parents, and not just my parents, though, teachers, something like that from school, always tells me this every time when we have this conversation for as a lesson in our class or something. Yeah, or sometimes having a conversation about it with your parents or grandparents or your siblings, to your cousins. Yeah. And to tell you this, it can come to aggression sometimes when it's no, I don't know how to, to detail it, but I'm pretty sure you will get the idea of what I'm trying to say here. Although I do sometimes get people blaming me for them getting upset if I ever said something that might upset them. But sometimes I'm not using it as an excuse, but I'm pretty sure people will know and learn that they can't always assume I was saying something that will hurt them. I mean, just because I respond the way you not expect me to say, it doesn't mean you should assume that I was being horrible to you or anything in general. You need to be careful of what you're accusing sometimes. And that's just, I mean, it's not just me, because there's other people who can do it to other people, or they might do it to you as well. I mean, seriously. They just like to gaslight you. Like, I don't know what game they're playing, but I'm still saying that no matter how many times there's people who wants to make it like you're in the wrong, sometimes there's some people who just can't get it, like literally, and that's the problem, because there's some young people out there who just can't get the facts straight sometimes, and that's just not, I mean, it's not just kids, there's teenagers and there's adults who can't get in the wrong end of the stick. So honestly, I'm actually feeling appalled by this point. Like, I'm so disappointed with this. So many people out there who just can't seem to get the facts straight before assuming about other people, about them, or about us. Yeah. I could feel the same feeling like you, Sebastian. I sometimes still keep getting people begging for requests, even no matter how many times I keep explaining to them I don't do that anymore, because I already explained it to them. I do not do request, and I don't do request anyway for a reason. Because if some of you remember from the last time I did used to let you guys give me any request, because there is one time where there's some individual user on YouTube keep nagging me about something about Wonder Pets, which I don't want to talk about anymore, but you get the point. And I get the point. Yeah. But like I said, I made my decision, and that's final. End of story. And it's people who still won't get it. Well, they can either do their own requests themselves or leave us people alone and do something better to do, other than pestering and nagging, or and believe it or not, using autism is no excuse either. Do not ever dare use your autism as an excuse. Well, it can justify it in some stage, but it's not always an unjust, often when it comes to that case, really. Whenever you have a drama or whatever with people in real life or online. So that's my third point. And I did say to one of my YouTube friends, so if you may know him, Media Central UK, I did say to him that no matter how many there's people, he still goes after him. I did say to him multiple times, just keep ignoring them, keep blocking them, don't give them any feedback by giving them your attention, because it's just going to cause any more problems. And you know what, guys? Guess what? He's taken my advice, and you guys should do the same thing, really, because it's just no good for you to keep for giving people feedback, because that's exactly what they want from you. So that's my point. Yeah. Sorry, just need to take a few breaths. Okay, I think I'm fine now. Sorry, I just need to take a teeny little break to help me to cool down a bit. Sometimes I do sometimes go a bit speedy when it comes to talking too fast. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oops, sorry, that was my chair. Sorry. Okay. So, oh yeah, I just remember something. And well, I don't really know the whole story, which I won't get involved anyway. But I do remember this one time when someone posted about being upset about something, and then they end up having some people telling them to stop getting upset, and saying that you don't always have to keep posting about whatever that is upsets you. Well, they may have a good point, which I can agree with. Although sometimes it is okay to reach out if you ever need a friend or someone to give you a bit of a support, something like that. So, but let me just remind you, you cannot always say do not post of whatever that upsets you every time when there's a problem. Well, you may have your own point there, which I can agree sometimes, but there are moments which I don't always agree on this point, because sometimes you just got to be careful what you're saying to that person who needs to reach out. And I mean need to reach out. Because I remember this one episode from the Owl House. Okay, I know some of you may not like the show or not interested, but I will gonna use this one episode for example anyway. So just let me say this just for this point. So, because there's this episode something about Luce, the main character from the Owl House, and she was upset because the anniversary of her dad passing away, and she didn't feel like talking about it all the way through the whole episode. And Amity Blake, in one of the secondary characters, Luce's girlfriend. Yeah, okay. So the thing is, Amity doesn't know what's going on in Luce's head all the way through the whole episode. And until like later on, when Amity shares why she wants to win a belt for her dad, because she wants her dad's improvement about being a daughter to him, something like that. And I actually feel sorry for Amity on this point, but I also feel bad for Luce, because it's like she couldn't know how to handle her own situations, and she's struggling to communicate her feelings until like later, where she finally reveals her problems with Amity on that very scene. Some of you might actually remember this video of that very scene on one of my channels. Yeah. So that's all I know really. So if some of you want to watch that clip, you can watch it whenever you want. So yeah. But it's up to you if you want to or not. But you can support the characters. You don't have to like the show or anything. You can just try and understand the characters, something like that. That's all I'm saying here. Really. Yeah. So that's the only. I mean, that's not the only thing anyway I want to talk about, because some of you probably seen my me sharing a video just recently, just before I come here, saying about dementia. Yeah, well, to those who have seen EastEnders, it's okay to somebody who have not watch this show. But there is people like me included who does watch EastEnders, and and there's this character in the show who has dementia, and I just want to point out that Nigel, who has dementia in the show, the actor who plays him, he doesn't have dementia, but still, it doesn't really matter if the actor is playing it doesn't really matter if it's acting or not. You should realize that dementia is still a thing in reality, and that can cause the pain for those who can affect the family or friends, because it's just something that we just can't bear the pain with, if you get what I mean. And the thing is, I can't help feeling sorry for Nigel for having dementia in the show, but he shouldn't really hurt Julie the way he did. Like, I don't know, pushing her or holding her arms too tight like that the way he did. Oh my god, I don't want to go through the whole details really, because it's just too bad and sad at the same time to think about, but you get what I mean. And that's just, every time when it comes to this storyline on EastEnders, it reminds me of my late nan. So I am trying my best to not get upset, but you get what I mean. But anyway, let's just say that no matter if you had dementia or not, you shouldn't really use that word as an excuse when someone, accidentally hurting someone. I'm actually saying it in a sarcasm sort of thing, so you get the gist. So, and believe it or not, because like I said, I did had a nan from my dad's side of the family who did die from dementia, which I will not want to talk about anyway, because it's just too much to think about. And I hope you guys can understand for this point. And the real point of what I'm saying, that me and my family, we do not use that word as an excuse for my nan's behavior at the time when she was alive, because she usually can be rude, but when it comes to having, the word, she can sometimes say something stupid, and she can be rude to her nurses when they come to visit her in a house, or sometimes when she's in the hospital or something like that, and she does swears a lot. Wow. I'm not saying this like, whatever you guys are thinking. I'm actually saying it because I am shocked in a disappointing way, because I wasn't expecting that when it comes to my late nan at the time. Oh my god. Well, that's all I need to say, really. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about, really. So if you guys want to share your thoughts about social media ban, dementia, or anything else you want to talk about, then feel free to do so in the comments. If you're not comfortable talking about it, you can always don't have to talk about it if you don't feel like thinking about it. And yeah, something like that. So anyway, boys and girls, I'll leave you guys to it now. Although I just forgot to mention, it was my best friend Sophie's birthday last Friday. Yeah, lucky Sophie. Yeah. And Sophie, if you're watching, I'll see you tomorrow in the day center. Yeah, can't wait to see my bestie. Okay, sorry, I just get overexcited. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that, Hunter. I mean, I know how it feels, so don't worry. So anyway, like I said, I'll see you guys another time. Well, bye bye everyone and have a good time. See ya.